This month, spring is in the air, and as a part of our Mother's Day issue, we wanted to highlight a mother that is very special to our department. Take a look as we sit down to get to know more about Georgia Thompson. Thanks so much for being here, Georgia. Would you mind telling us about your career path and how you began here at Turner?
I decided that I was ready to come back into the work market. So I had a friend who lived here in Atlanta, and she told me about Turner Broadcasting as if I didn't know about it already. So I applied for a position here, and I got the position as a librarian for the Turner Broadcasting Sales Operations Department. And from there, I became a coordinator for the Cartoon Network. From there, I became supervisor for CBTN/the Airport Network. And that led me to becoming a manager. And that's where I've been ever since. And I have enjoyed every moment of it.
That's great, Georgia. So what is it that you enjoy most about your current position as a manager?
Well, right now I am manager for the Domestic and International Media Center for Sales Operations. And the thing that I enjoy the most, I enjoy a lot of things, but the thing that I enjoy the most is meeting people. You know, I have a big relationship with lots of people because my job entails me to actually communicate and collaborate with a variety of people. There are so many departments that I have to deal with on a daily basis in order to accomplish the things that we do get accomplished in the Domestic and International Media Center.
You mentioned that you like talking to people, and I think that one thing people may not know is that you actually had your own talk show. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yes, back in the day, I did try doing a little bit of TV. I did have a talk show called Viewpoint, and I really enjoyed it. I really had the honor and opportunity to really interview some very important people. I interviewed like attorney generals, you know, and I interviewed movie stars, but also mainly I interviewed a lot of local people because the show was basically a show for the community. It was a community affairs talk show called Viewpoint, as I said earlier, and I talked about drugs, I talked about teen pregnancy, I talked about child abuse, a variety amount of things that would be important for the local community to know about.
You've had a cooking show, a talk show, and even hosted your own radio show.
Yes, I did have the opportunity to have a cooking show when I worked for the local affiliate for ABC. Don't know if you can remember, if anyone else can remember, but there used to always be a 5-minute cut-in for the local TV stations, and that is when I had the opportunity to have various chefs on the show from different restaurants throughout the state of Louisiana at the time. And that was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy that as well.
We were able to dig up some footage of you back in the day, Georgia. Let's take a look at some clips from your old show.
Let's talk a little bit about your supporting cast. It's like an all-star cast in this movie. What was it like working next to Dan and Ed?
Oh, Dan and Ed, well, we're all...
Good morning and welcome to our cooking segment. This morning we are going to be cooking with Keith from Nikki's Restaurant. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
We have a great Mexican dish prepared for you this morning, so let's get started on it.
Oh, okay.
And that's it, your favorite Mexican dish made in just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's put the finished product right here.
That was so good to see you in action. So where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Arkansas, and I attended the University of Central Arkansas in Conway, Arkansas. Very good school. I had a great time there for my 4 years, and I had the opportunity to be one of the first hosts for the first gospel show in Central Arkansas. It aired for 2 years on Sundays from like 2 p.m. until 3:30 p.m.
Now that sounds like so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't feel like I've missed out on anything in life.
So did you move from Arkansas straight to Atlanta?
I left Arkansas, moved to Louisiana, where I worked for 13 years in broadcast engineering for one of the local TV stations there. I actually acquired my third-class engineering license before I graduated from college. But it was a lot of hard work, and I decided that I didn't want to go for my second class or first class. So I just kind of stayed where I was for a moment. And then I moved on to Jackson, Mississippi. I moved on to Cleveland, Ohio, where I became a stay-at-home mom for a while. And then I guess you could say jump-started my career again in 1994 when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia to work for CNN.
It's amazing, Georgia. With being a mom and having children as well as grandchildren, how do you feel you've been able to balance everything and manage working full-time and being a mom? And what advice would you give to other parents in the department?
Well, one of the things that I think that work balance is a lot more easier now in the TV world. It was really hard 20 years ago for me, 30 years ago for me. So basically what you do is you spend a lot of money on caretakers so that your children are well taken care of, so that you can do your job and be comfortable doing your job and know that your children are well cared for. And also you spend a lot of time burning the candle at both ends, because when you go home with your children, you still want to give them their time. Of course, I have one son who's 31 years old, and I have a daughter who's about to be 20 years old, and of course I have a third child, my grandson, that's been with me since he was 2 days old. So my 31-year-old son, his name is Bobby, and he works for the University of Phoenix, and he also graduated from the University of Phoenix. And then I have my daughter, I'm actually happy to say she's right down the street from here, so we can have lunch together, and she still comes home pretty consistently. You know, she's starting to have her own little life and kind of separate from me a little bit, but she's having fun, and she's doing really well in college. I'm so proud of her. And of course I have my sidekick, my 13-year-old Matthew. He's really, really good at football. His football team won the championship 2 years in a row, and he's been the star running back. I have to brag on him a little bit. And also he runs track.
What are some things that you enjoy in your spare time?
Well, one of the things that I enjoy is cooking. I love cooking. I could cook every day if I had the time. And my favorite thing to cook is cakes and pies and cookies. I spend a lot of time trying new recipes, cooking the same recipes. You probably won't come to my house on a Sunday without finding something sweet in my kitchen to go along with Sunday dinner. So I really, really do like doing that.
Well, this wraps up our Employee Spotlight. We hope that you enjoyed this edition, and please check out all of the other sections of the break room.